Understandably, you and I may become a bit too excited when that friend of yours rushes into the room and says, dude, you gotta check this thing out. It's this color, it's got this engine, and this equipment. However, if I were to run the following past you, a burgundy car that has a lot of white stickers all over it, gold trim, and wait for it, corduroy seats, would you get excited, or would you end our friendship? Now, admittedly, that description would not excite car folks. Hell, it wouldn't even excite people who have a basic understanding of primary colors. That said, what the hell is this thing? Well, it is a 992 Targa 4S, which means there is a 3-liter flat six with a turbocharger on it, even though technically this is not a 911 turbo. In this application, 443 horsepower, 390 pound-feet of torque. Now, something also very important with a Targa 4S, really any Targas, they only come as all-wheel drive. However, this one is the Heritage Design Edition. Now, I'd love to tell you there's all sorts of performance upgrades. Not really. Yeah, there's an optional sport exhaust on this one. However, the only thing that's really mechanical as it relates to the Heritage Design Edition would be the wheels, the design and size 2021s. Then there's fuel economy, believe it or not, somewhat respectable because it is a 911. 18, 23, 21 combined, although I do significantly better when I drive these things around town. Something like 27, 28 I've been doing with this car over the past couple of days. Then there are the performance figures. And there, it's a quick car, even though people like to say this is not their favorite 911. 3.4 seconds to 60 is a basic comparison. If it was just a regular Targa 4, it would be 4 seconds to 60. VMAX, 188 miles an hour. Being this is one of the Porsches you and I like the most, a friendly reminder, some help with the algorithm, click the like button, subscribe, notifications, and most importantly, share these episodes with your friends. With that, this is also one of the heaviest 911s on offer, 3,658 pounds, or depending on how you express your weights and measures, 1,659 kilograms. With that, Sport Plus mode, and let's hit this button here, Sport Response. Here we go. Oh yes, oh God, it's so good to be back in a Targa. You really don't feel the extra weight of this vehicle. To give you an idea, that most basic 992, remember that yellow one we drove? That's like 400 pounds lighter than this car. But you know what? You really don't notice a huge difference with this engine, and that's the thing that surprises me so much. Yes, it is indeed that time again to play your favorite game on the Office Game with today's contestant, a Porsche that you think has an incredible amount of options. In reality, it does not have a lot of options. This one, the 2021 Porsche 911 Targa 4S, not done yet, Heritage Design Edition. This is a standalone model. It is a limited edition. They are only making 992 worldwide. I will let you guess as to where they get that number. The base price, $180,600. That is like 50 grand more than a basic 992 Targa. So you understand why there aren't many options. Anyway, this one is fitted with a cherry metallic paint job. Now, one can have this with 4 other colors. I do not know all of the colors, although as of late, I have become a huge fan of Python Green in the Porsche world. We'll talk more about that in another episode. I don't think it's on offer here. The interior, it can be had with a red, like a burgundy, they call it Bordeaux red, with Atacama beige, it's beige, or red with black. I think the black would look terrible. Now, one thing here, the roof itself, it's black. I think this would look great with a beige roof. Granted, some people would think I'm nuts, but then again, I did own a convertible that was red with a beige top, so somewhat biased there. Then, believe it or not, after all this stuff, you do have to add rear axle steer on a Targa 4S. That has a base price of 180 grand, $2,090. The Sport exhaust, which sounds magnificent and should not be optional, $2,200. Then something that really shouldn't be optional on a $180,000 car, especially when this low, a front axle lift system. Can like Porsche and Lamborghini and Ferrari and even the Corvette come together and say, We realize this is a necessity on a car like this. It would save you money in the long run by having the front axle lift system, and maybe you add like half the option price to the base price of the car, so we're all winning here, because I really don't want to pay $2,770 to save myself a trip to a body shop. Heated steering wheel, $280. Lane keep assist, $1,060. The Bose stereo. Now, it's not terrible. There's a good amount of bass in it, but this is a Heritage Design Edition. This is a limited edition model, $992. Why is this not fitted with a Burmester or standard? At least this one should have had the Burmester. Granted, that's like $4 or $5 grand. This is only $1,600. The 18-way seats, $2,670. Then the destination and handling from Stuttgart, Deutschland, $1,350 for a total retail price of $194,620. Okay, so let's you and I stop geeking out about the driving dynamics and the power from the ass end of this car. It's all about design details with this thing. Let's start with the front of the vehicle. The badging changes. It's not the typical badging of a 992, but if you look back to Porsche crests, say 63 to the 70s, that's what you've got here. The big thing you notice is the change in the colors and the larger block letters. Then out in the back, it just says Porsche Heritage, and it's stunning. And just as an aside from that, yes, this is a product of Porsche Exclusive Manufaktur, which is reinforced here. On all of them, they emboss the Porsche Exclusive Manufaktur on the armrest, but it's a division, or really a separate like skunk works inside of Porsche Exclusive Manufaktur that makes these things, and this is the first of many they are going to make. Then there are the graphics, and this is perhaps a bridge too far for me. So you've got a couple of things going on. You got the Porsche written across the lower part of the body. You got the number decal, and you can have it with or without the starting number, and then there's the wing decal. You know, sometimes I look at it and I'm like, yeah, I can see it. It makes the car stand out. But then I've seen images of the car without any of the graphics and the Fuchs wheels, and oh, do I need a private moment with that car. But then, the most important part of this car that stands out, the interior, is made of corduroy. Remember the pants your grandparents used to wear? Corduroy, with the lines in it. That's the seats. Sounds terrible, right? But Santa Maria, Madre de Dios, it is something to behold. And when you put it together with all of the other Porsche Exclusive Manufaktur bits that are fitted as standard to this vehicle, like for example, the key, it's color keyed to the body color. The leather all around the interior, top of the dash, top of the doors, map pockets, even the steering wheel column is leather. However, for those like me that are not into spending $200 large on a non-GT car, there is a heritage package that can be had on other 992s, not GT cars and not GTSs, and that brings about a lot of what this car does, mainly on the inside, sadly, not the corduroy seats, but it also offers something that is the piece de resistance. Remember the gauges from like a 1964 to say 67 911? Well, that's what they have here. However, there is one more thing I do need to share with you. If you look a bit deeper into the headliner, you see perforations. Now go back to say late 60s, early 70s era Mercedes, Porsche, pretty much every German car, they had a headliner that was vinyl, and it also had perforations in the headliner. This is a throwback to that time, and it is magnificent. But they don't stop there. The floor mats are even a throwback to late 60s, early 70s. Can't say that it's Berber floor mats, not this thick like you'd see in like a Cadillac, but this very utilitarian type floor mat. You say, like, what is that? And you think to yourself, wait a minute, my grandparents' Mercedes had floor mats like that. You and I are not going to waste our time discussing whether I like this or whether it was a good idea. Rather, I'm going to pose a question to the folks in Zuffenhausen. What the hell took you so long? This is one of the few car companies that has a very long track record of positive history. You should have been doing this like 30 years ago. Granted, I understand this is a business decision, but it's kind of a gold mine because of suckers like me, which brings us to the wish list. And here, I really have nothing for this other than the stuff we discussed already. Rather, can we apply this whole trick to GT cars? I understand there's some sort of prohibition with the package on GT cars, but can we take some of the bits and put them on the GT cars? Like, for example, I got a thing for a Python green GT3 Touring with the herringbone seats and the ridiculous red seat belts, fire extinguisher, but I also want these gauges. How much cooler would that look on a GT3 Touring? Granted, I do not want the gold on the GT3 Touring, just the gauges, the headliner, maybe the floor mats. You know what, if you can figure out a way to do cooled seats and the corduroy, I might even go for that. And this is the point of the episode where I turn this around to you guys to opine in the comments below, or via our social media, MotoManTV all one word, MotoManTV all one word, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And once again, I would like to open up another line of communication with the folks in Zuffenhausen or in Atlanta, because they are the ones that are closest to me. No one seems to be taking me very seriously, but I am very serious. I would like a GT3 Touring allocation at MSRP. I'm not even looking for a deal, just the sticker price, but with this kind of stuff. I am a serious buyer. Please call me. I'm waiting for your call. Till I see you in the next episode, bis später.